All right. So, who would like to give a recap of last session?
Think I, the person who was not here last week,
I'll do it.
best suited for this.
Okay, so we got to the top, and we brought the now stonified Miria with us, and got Minkus off the meat hook, and then walked in on a mysterious man, and not more than 10 seconds of seeing this mysterious man, our somewhat kind of friend Aldrich decides to take a chunk out of said man, with some kind of creature that comes from the back of his throat, and just shot out and attacked him. That was a little shocking. And so once we saw kind of a hostile action towards this random creature, some fighting ensued, but most of it was pretty like peaceful all in all. Minkus basically was like, everyone calm down, stop fighting, and people pretty much did. So then once the fighting subdued, we actually talked to said mysterious man that just appeared in our safe house, who informed us he was a doctor by the name of Escher, and that he worked previously for a Selesnya lab, right?
A Simic lab.
Simic lab, and he unlocked some secret scientific discovery that can save the world, from this plague that apparently is enraging, and he thinks that Aldrich is the answer to it because he was the first test subject that the mysterious scientific experiment worked on. We also determined Jerry has this awoken scientific thing happen to him, so he is a god, and we must go protect him and save him from the underworld, or the Underdark, or what, Undercity, whatever it's called. And then also the new doctor said, your quests don't matter anymore, you have to do everything that I say, and Clara didn't like that. And then we were all like, okay, well, we got some things to take care of. So then Fox and Kai went off and did a little secret mission, and Clara's getting ready for her interview, and I believe the Boros members are going to be joining her.
Yeah, so as you kind of start back up in the safe house, you see as Fox and Kai just turn to you and go, we'll see you after your interview. We'll meet you at the second precinct barracks. And Escher and Aldrich are kind of just talking to each other and to Minkus. Escher's asking a lot of questions and trying to get some answers. And the two Boros members and the Goblin, what would you like to do?
I guess we should be on our way then to the second district.
Precinct.
Whatever.
God, the second precinct, second district is so far away. It would take months to get there.
Or in the 10th district.
Precinct district, same difference.
Guys, I'm a little worried about how this is gonna go, because I think they're blaming me for something something bad did. Something.
Very good.
Good word usage.
Relax, don't be nervous.
Well,
They saw that we were helping during the slaughter parade. I think we'll be fine.
They did witness us helping. And you were participating in the slaughter parade by helping it come to an end.
well, yeah, but I feel like they see the Izzet do something bad, and they think we're bad people, and then they see a goblin, and you know, those Boros don't always think so good of us goblins, so it's a little scary.
Well, that's rough.
That's rough, buddy.
Thanks.
Sorry, I'm sleepy.
Wake up!
Systematic racism and police brutality bores the big cow.
It's because
It's
he's
true.
part of the system.
Just another Tuesday.
All in a day's work. Cue outro sequence. Bow, chicka, bow, chicka, bow.
Well, can you guys lead me to wherever they said? I don't really remember.
Sure.
Yes, isn't that where you work, Gideon?
It is indeed.
Yeah, I need some water. It feels like I got something in the back of my throat, but I can still hear him talk.
It's that dick.
It's true.
She's so right.
But which dick?
John's.
No.
Is there a different one?
So
Where are we again?
you guys are at the safe house, which luckily for you is only like a 15-minute walk from the barracks. Where you are is also in precinct 2, and the second precinct, barrack, and prisons, like they're not very far from where you are.
Very nice.
Then start walking out.
All right, so. Oh, wait, wrong one. There we go. So as I said, it takes you about 15 minutes of walking, but Gideon, like, you're very familiar. This is the office that you work at, so you know exactly where you're going. You know the fastest way to get there. And it takes you about 15 minutes total to get there. And you are now standing outside of the front door.
Alrighty, Clara, you ready for your interview?
I guess. Ready as I'll ever be.
Alright, and then
Knock,
I guess
knock.
just walk in front door.
Yeah. Walk in. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you walk in, and Tavro, I don't know how familiar you are with the second precinct group, since you're mostly in Sunhome. But
Yeah.
Gideon, you recognize there's a female soldier behind the desk named Meredith, and as she looks up, she just kind of like gives you a smile and goes like, "Oh, hi, Gideon," and standing a bit
That's
behind.
not what that token looks like.
Yeah, that token is a full-on man.
Well, maybe you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because this is still a soldier, and it is the soldier token, but it is a woman named Meredith, and she's quite sweet and very sensitive about her masculine appearance.
Oh, okay.
Now you're making Meredith feel bad, guys. Anyway.
So, and behind them you see the Minotaur from, I can't believe I'm saying this as it's been weeks, but The Night Before,
Yeah.
Bulbous, and
There
as
was
you
another Minotaur?
the Minotaur is the one who told you guys to come to the
Yeah.
second precinct
Yeah, he was at the
barracks.
slaughter parade.
Minotaurs are very common.
Minotaurs are almost exclusively belonging to the Boros.
And Gruel.
And Gruul. But you're Boros, so you don't consider them people.
That's true. That's true. They aren't people.
See,
But, so, you know, Gideon, that Bolthus does not usually work out of the second precinct barracks. But given that this is the main office for interrogations, this is that's probably why he called you guys here.
who's
And-
Wolfus?
The Minotaur.
Oh. But you said I'd see him in the corner here.
Do you
Yeah,
not see
he's
a
coming
Minotaur on screen?
I'm confused. I thought you said so.
That guy right there.
Okay, that is him. Okay, you said he's not usually here, so he's
Yeah, like, not usually,
like-
but Today
he doesn't.
is.
Yeah, he doesn't work out of this office. You don't work with him
Oh,
normally, but he is here for this interview. He told you to meet him here. But you kind of like step into the like well-maintained offices of the second precinct barracks, and Meredith just gives a like smile to you, Gideon, and Bolthus goes, "Tavro, Gideon, you've come. And it looks like you had to
Indeed.
drag the goblin with you. I'm not surprised, that damn chip tooth."
We did not. She came willingly and she's done nothing wrong.
Right. You did say that she was. And you see as he does like exaggerated air quotes, which just look real weird with his minotaur fingers, and he just goes, she helped you and wasn't part of the problem.
He's a good goblin.
I know it is our nature to always assume the worst in people, but there are good citizens out there.
Very well. Well, regardless, I do have some questions for you. Now, I've been given free use of one of the interrogation rooms for this purpose. You'll follow me in. And you see as he like walks over here, opens up a door, and then steps in.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to do...
Ooh, a chair. Or
1 second as I change up the music. And you see as Bolthus kind of just sits behind this desk and he looks at like the two of you following Clara in, and he goes,
I was hoping you'd play Phoenix Wright music.
It's only appropriate.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're welcome to sit in on the interview if you want, but there's no need. I'll get what I need out of this one."
Clara looks visibly upset. And she's like fiddling with her feet, kind of like pushing them on the ground, like trying not to make eye contact.
I still feel like I got like a frog in my throat or something. Eh.
Tavro, we told you to stop eating the frogs when you go into Gruul territory.
Or eat
But I
frogs.
But I love eating frogs. For what it's worth, Balthus, I had been with her for the majority of that day, and so there wasn't any possibility of her getting such a construct ready beforehand.
Maybe not her directly. This is more of a question of what she knows. So I'm sure it's something. That construct was ready for the slaughter parade. So it's just a question of how they found out. And this one...
Yeah,
well,
Clara.
so, Clara, is it? What's your last name?
Well, what I usually go by is Phillips. Clara Phillips. Nice to meet you.
And he, like, you see as he jots that down, he goes, "Is your whole family, is it?"
Yes, sir.
Which lab do they belong to?
Well, my mom and dad work in the alchemy labs, but I work with my aunt in the explosives and what's the word? Armor? No. What am I?
Artillerist.
Artillery one. Yeah, that's what we do.
So in character.
So, family in the alchemist lab, Clara in the pyrotechnics lab. Understood. And you see is like he was being really aggressive, and as he's asking you these questions for logistics, his face kind of softens and he's just like writing down these things, and then he like finishes writing down your contact information and then just slams his hands on the table and goes, "So what do you know about the construct?"
Oh, sir, I don't know anything.
Liar! The Izzet are always building things like this, and I know that you have that fire mind that keeps you all in touch. You're not the first Izzet I've brought in here, and you won't be the last.
There are other people, yeah, I guess, that do some kind of experimental stuff, but that's not me. I just work really laboriously in the lab. Like, I don't know any of that crazy technology that they use.
Well, you just said that you're an artillerist, isn't that the weapon makers? That
Well, yeah,
seemed like quite the weapon the other night.
Yeah, but we don't do those kind of weapons. Those are like special, like fancy weapons. I just mostly make explosives.
And 1 second, because Bolthus is not the brightest, so I need to check what he knows. So that's a... And he goes, explosives, huh? Well, if you don't know what that is, you said that there are other labs that work on that kind of stuff. Which labs?
Oh, well, I don't know that. I only know the lab that I'm at and the lab of my parents. I'm not very important in the Is It, as you probably can tell. I don't really branch very far.
Seems like you have friends across all the guilds. That doesn't seem like you're staying local.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I made these friends out on the streets one day because I was out and about, and then they decided to hang out with me.
Give me a deception check.
Perfect timing on the music change.
Wait, is this the Ace Attorney music?
Yes. Alright, that's pretty good. Let's see what his insight gets.
I mean, Clara couldn't just straight up say she was a secret double agent.
And you see as he just looks down at you and goes, I don't buy it. Now I know Tavro here just joined up with you after that Bone Collective incident. But that's another thing I have questions on. Why the hell were you out in Gruul territory fighting a Bone Collective? You know it's not legal to enter the Rubble Belt alone.
Well, yeah. As she's like trying to think of what to say. Well, mister, I'm sorry, but if I told you the truth, I don't think you'd believe me.
And also, with all due respect, Balthus, she wasn't alone. She was with Gideon.
And he looks over at Gideon and glares for a second and goes, I guess you're right. Now, you say I won't believe the truth. I don't think you understand how interrogations work, young lady. I choose what I believe. You just have to tell me.
Okay. You see, the really important people asked us to help them try to find out secrets about really bad guys, and that's how I met Gideon and all the other people.
Slow down! Who is important people? Who is bad guys?
The lawmaker people. They're the good ones.
The Azorius.
Yeah, those ones.
They're lawful, although I wouldn't necessarily call them all good. But fine, who are the bad guys?
Oh, well, we had to find out things about the sneaky guild that shall not be named.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't?
No.
It doesn't.
No.
People don't think it exists.
Yeah, like, historically, everybody knows that Ravnica started with 10 guilds, and the Dimir stopped being a guild a long time ago.
Oh.
That is, like,
Well-
very common knowledge.
Yeah. See, the Azorius said that they think they're trying some kind of sneaky stuff, and that their magical seer people said that we were important and that they needed to get us to help stop the bad guy.
And you see as he just, like, glances up and looks over at Tavro and Gideon, kind of, like, looking for, like, either a nod of affirmation or a shake of the head or just some sort of reaction to the story she's spinning.
I've only been with them for like 2 days. I don't think I'm the one that
I have
affirmed
no
this.
idea.
And as Tavro kind of just, like, looks up and shrugs, he looks over at you, Gideon.
Gideon looks kind of uneasy.
And he just goes, and how did this supposed thing about the Dimir and the law mages hiring you, which, to be fair, I do not believe for a second, how did it lead you to fighting a bone collective?
You don't even believe me.
No, the Dimir are gone, and why would the law mages hire someone as stupid as you?
Because they thought it was important. At least someone sees some use in a little goblin like me.
Oh, I see use in you. I can either get the answers that I need from you. No. No, you do not blow up a bomb outside. I see 2 uses for you. I can either get the answers I need for you, or we can make an example of you.
Well, sir, I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to tell you why things happened the way they did, but you're not believing me.
Then tell me about the other Is It labs.
I honestly don't know, okay? I haven't been brought to them. So all I know is other places do kind of crazy things, but I don't have any information on what they are.
Give me a persuasion check.
Charisma base is not Clara's strong suit, you see.
And he looks at you and kind of just frowns and goes, fine, if you can't tell me about the other labs, at least give me some usable information. There's a lot of dead innocents out there. Yes, mostly Rakdos' fault, but the Is It were involved somehow. So, you say that you're looking into spies, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, in that case, I think we can come to an agreement. and you can be a little bit of a spy yourself.
Oh no.
Oh boy!
Now, if you can go and find out which lab created this lightning experiment, I won't bother you anymore. But if you can't find that out for me, well, we need an example made out of those in the Is It who make these terrible experiments. It doesn't matter if it wasn't actually you. The example is what needs to be made.
Yes,
That seemed a
sir!
lot
As
nicer
Clara,
the night of the slaughter parade.
I just say, I really don't think that's necessary.
Clara would like to salute him and stomp her foot and go, yes, sir! I'll find out for you!
Are you mocking me?
No, I thought that was the protocols. I'm sorry.
And this is, and you see as he like shuffles through the desk and he takes out a small notebook and a quill, and he hands them to you and goes, "Find out what's going on in that lab, and write in this book. It'll act as reporting to me."
Okay. And Clara takes the quill and the notebook.
And he goes, "Now, go wait in the lobby. I have to talk to my other guild members for a moment."
Oh, okay. As she, like, kind of shuffles away, kind of, like, worriedly.
And he shuts the door behind him, and you see as soon as the door is shut, his like face completely softens, and he's like, "I just wanted to thank you guys again for helping out at the slaughter parade the other night. You really did do a lot to protect the citizens of Ravnica, and I just want you to know that me and the survivors from my unit really appreciate your help."
Oh wow. Okay, that was a 180. But of course, we were just lucky that we happened to be nearby.
Yes.
Yes, I am curious as to why you were nearby. I didn't. It seemed a bit strange to me, considering it's, well, it sounds like you were off duty, and it's not exactly the most sanctioned neighborhood for our fun times.
Well, you see,
Regular.
you may know that I was sent to scout out, reports of undead in the Druid Enclave. But I found them already fighting the Bone Collective, and that alone was a bit surprising to me. And so to make sure that just to learn more about them, I stayed with them for the rest of the day. Um,
I had
Yes.
already been on the Bone Collective mission as well.
Yes, and about that Bone Collective. Wasn't the undead we fought in that slaughter parade a Bone Collective? I thought that those were incredibly rare for there to be two separate ones in a single day. And you to be at the location of both. A little coincidental, don't you think?
Oh, I was not prepared for this one.
So, yes, but purely.
Give me a deception check.
Oh. While they're doing this, Clara would like to go sit on this bench out here and just, like, curl up in her legs and, like, kind of, like peakishly
You did
look
it.
at the woman at the counter.
Yeah, and like Meredith kind of just like looks out at you and gives like a little smile and a wave and just like calls you over and she's like, "Oh, I know he's a big meanie, but he's really sweet at heart. He just gets rough during his interrogations. Can I get you a drink?" Right? Like she's just being super sweet and trying to make you more comfortable as she sees you've been kind of shell-shocked by your interview.
Clara wants to do, like, what a 3-year-old, like, if they're, like, waving to you in public, but they're, like, trying to be, like, sneaky about it, like, that's what she does back.
Okay. And Bolthus looks at you, Gideon, and goes, "Bullshit. What actually happened?"
That is what happened. I'm being honest.
Well, what did you say that you? What did you lie about?
She said it was
What?
a different bone collective and it was just coincidence.
Ah, I see. I didn't actually hear what she originally said. Um, hold on. This is what? Wait away. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's info dumping time. Yeah, I think it's info dumping time. I wish we had a trader chat. No, Vasco. Well, you see, the real reason I stuck around with that particular group was because they didn't kill the Bone Collective.
So it was the same one.
Yes, there was an there was an Orzov cleric who I don't particularly know how it works, but he managed to bind it to himself, and he brought it to the Rakdos uh for, well, to be honest, I don't quite know why, but and I would have been outraged upon this, but one of them a member of the Azorius of that group assured me that the Azorius had an interest in taking down Rakdos, and that this was all part of it. My investigation has still been ongoing, so I'm afraid I can't say too much since it was just yesterday. Um, but that's the truth.
It
Nod my
technically
head.
is the truth, so give me a persuasion check.
Come on, baby. Hey.
And you see as he like looks at you and goes, "Unfortunately, I believe you. And that takes that part a little bit out of my hands. As I'm, well, interguild politics goes a bit higher than my pay grade. But I'm gonna be watching you all closely. Now I have a tie-in with that goblin.
We will
So,
ensure that she completes her mission.
sorry, what was that?
I said we will ensure that she completes her mission. And also, while Tavra was speaking, like Gideon was like nodding his head and affirming it that everything he was saying.
Alright. This may be out of my command now that it's interguild politics. But as I said, I'm going to be watching you all closely.
Very well. And
Very well.
but if you do want assurance of what I've said is true, I did already report it back to Sunholm.
Yes, I will definitely be following up with, I assume, one of the angels.
I forget. No, because the guy I talked to is a Minotaur, right?
Well, is it the
Or what?
person that you report to, or...
Yeah, I just told this to the guy I report to. I ain't go any higher.
Let me take a quick check, but I'm pretty sure that was, a Celestial.
Aha, it could have been. I just might have been stupid. Yeah, I didn't like bring it up, like, go up to the Archangel. It's like the guy I usually bring information back to.
Captain Parith is a battle angel, and that is who you report to.
Aha! I see. Yes. Then I told it all to him, and basically, like, I think just about everything I just mentioned was in that report, although it's still ongoing, as I've already mentioned.
I will be following up with Captain Parith then. And you two, and I guess the goblin now, plus the rest of that ragtag group you had, you should all report to Captain Machine, considering interguild politics is more his specialty.
Excuse me,
Because
could you
you're
say
not
that again?
Captain Machine.
Yeah, it's my cousin.
His
Very well.
cousin is Gideon's boss.
Ah.
This was established all the way
Oh.
back in, like, session 1.
Oh.
But also,
M-
that Mr. Captain Print-A-Machine very much despises the Orzhov, and has not spoken to his cousin Fox since they were children.
I hate that. And, but when he says like machine, I just go Fox, and I kind of like look at Gideon for a second.
How could you?
No, different machine of the same family.
Oh.
I'm sorry to let you know I've been living a double life. A triple life.
A quadruple?
Oh no, Connor, I knew it wasn't you, but Tavro didn't. He was very confused.
Well, with that, for now, I'll let you get back to it. But this won't be the last conversation we have.
Of course.
I do-
Nothing
Especially-
else.
I do appreciate your help in the parade. As much as, well, I may have some problems with events surrounding it.
Sounds
Well,
good.
We'll be on our way.
I figured as much considering the operation continuing later this month.
And he just looks at you and goes, yes. Best to be quiet about that while there are guests in the barracks.
Indeed. Oh, I didn't mean to ping. I'll just get it.
Around this time, you see, like, Clara, you're kind of just looking out the window right now, like, nodding your head, just passing the time, and you see approaching is the rest of your party. Kai, Fox, Aldrich, and Escher through the window.
Yeah, this is the music that comes on when I approach.
Before I see them walk in, I wanna scurry up to Gideon.
Wait. I thought part of the thing we talked about last time is I didn't want Aldrich anywhere near the Boros.
You didn't disagree when we agreed on everybody meeting up at the barracks. You said you didn't want him anywhere near the Civic.
Or the Boros. Wait, when did we agree to meet at the barracks? I thought we were meeting at the safe house we were in before.
I thought we were meeting at the night market.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, everybody just now agree on a place to meet, and you will all happen to show up there around this time.
The place where we all met the first time, because we all know where it is.
But the safe house isn't safe.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
An assassin showed up!
You were
Yeah,
told
you killed him.
You were told by Minkus that the safe house is going out of commission. You have a few hours after his interrogation to pick up Miria's petrified head, and then you must leave, or you will be
Yeah.
killed when they come to shut down the safe house.
So
Yeah.
far, where are you?
Last session we did decide on the night market.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I apologize that I forgot it was night market.
No, it's all good.
Session, so.
And Vinny Aldrich knows how to get there, so Escher will be fine.
Alright.
Wait, hold on, I wanted to do something.
Okay, do something.
It's
would you
fine,
like
you
to
don't have
do?
to go, you don't have to go back to it, but whatever. Clara's gonna scurry over to Gideon because she still doesn't really know Tavro very well, and like pull on his robes and like motion like come down so I can like whisper something.
Yes.
Mr. Gideon, can you take the notes for me? I don't know how to write.
Gideon just chuckles to himself a little bit and says, and he sighs and goes, "Yes, Clara, I can take the notes for you."
Okay, thank you, but please don't tell the others, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
let's go.
With my cow hearing senses, I hear everything.
And he just leads her out into the hallway.
Yeah, Clara's illiterate and works in a pyrotechnics lab. Great combination.
Yep.
So I imagine I don't.
How are you illiterate with an intelligence of 15?
Good question.
You know spells if you're illiterate.
Because I just memorize them.
Also, as an artificer, it's not really spells so much as like little inventions that she makes to do things for her.
If people tell me how to do it, I can do it.
No. Has Clara always been illiterate?
You don't know. No, she just became illiterate.
Hey, you've suffered at least one head wound since you joined the party.
I mean, that's fair. Okay, we can go to the night market now.
Okay.
Should we get the dude out of prison?
How are you gonna break him out of prison?
Great question. But I figured it was convenient for us to do it while we're here.
I don't think 2 cops and a goblin that's already being suspected as bad is a good idea to try to break someone out of prison. Unless you would sweet talk them, but...
You see, I got a disguise.
Uh-huh. In your workplace.
Alright, so you all make your way to the afternoon market. Considering it is currently daytime out. It's been about 2 hours since you all split up to do your various tasks. So it actually is about 9 p.m. So the sun is going down. It still has enough of like the twilight and the sunset for you to be able to see clearly, but the sun is setting as you all make your way back to the night market and meet up there, and you all just happen to show up right around the same time as each other. What would you all like to do?
I can see you guys here.
Wow, what's happened?
Hold on, I'm summoning a man. Or at
I'm
least
texting
attempting.
Justin.
You already have a token on here,
It's
cops.
You
Yeah,
wanted
but
a new
still.
token?
Upon seeing Kai, Clara would just run up and hug him and be like, Mr. Kai, they're so scary.
As Kai disappears, mostly so he can get his new token out. Yeah, so you run up to Kai and you hug him, and he just goes, There, Clara. You're okay. You haven't been arrested, it looks like, so we're fine.
Well, almost. I have to do a mission, otherwise they might arrest me.
As Fox just sort of rubs his head and says, another. And then just
Well,
Shakes.
at least I'm not having a scary wolf woman run after us, Mr. Fox.
Hey, we already have.
There are
one
two
mission.
clerics.
What's one more at this point?
Oh.
Explain this.
And it was better than
He-
than Clara blowing our cover.
He just made a new token.
Oh, it got
so...
dark.
Oh, yeah, because he previously had light cast on him in the scene.
Is
should
everything
still be
supposed to
able
be
to
black and white?
Dim light.
Yeah, so you're in dim light, which makes everything monochrome.
Really? That's weird.
Come, everyone, let us sit around the campfire.
And sing our campfire song. CAMPFIRESONG song. And if you don't think that we can't sing it faster, then you're wrong. It'll help if you just sing along.
CAMPFIRESONG song.
Anyway.
There, now you can see colors. I guess there's enough light for it.
Now then,
Dustin is out with his mom.
He is.
He's British now.
have you otherwise worked on the other thing? I say as I sort of look around for anyone.
Sorry, what was that?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It
Yeah.
cut out for a second.
I look at the others and say, well, have you handled anything towards the other thing?
Can you be a bit more specific?
Our other task is at that location?
No, we did not. There are a couple of tasks that we have in that general vicinity, but
Are there?
So there are a few people that want to go. I think he might know where that he wants to go visit is in precinct 2, just not at prison. But when we were there, we thought it would be a bad idea.
Katie, can you move a little bit closer to the mic? It's kind of hard to hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Gideon kind of says, well, we thought it would be in bad taste to immediately try to break a prisoner out of the Boros after we were just interrogated, and they are already now suspicious of us.
Fox nods, and then, well, perhaps it might be best then to wait until Kai's abilities recharge before we do anything for that. I'm sure he will explain it to you as well in due time. Now then.
Gideon kind of looks confused. What do you mean?
I'm not at discretion to share his dirty laundry.
He just kind of looks at Kai, who is, for some reason, now with the rest of the camp.
Yeah, he's comatose. Anyway, so...
Fair enough, I guess.
What game plan do you suppose? We have a few things we could do. There's this Cranko fellow that always seems to pop up in all of our radar. Though for the next task we have actually been given, it is explicitly to get to that person. However,
Connor, we're getting every other word. He's gone.
He's here. He's just distraught.
Not distraught, just disappointed.
Hey, now I can hear him.
Yeah, that's way clearer.
Well then, what shall our next task be for our next main objective is dealing with that prisoner. However,
pardon my intrusion, but I do believe that Minkus has a task at hand for us, does he not? That he said was of the utmost importance. If you don't mind my request, I would think that is something we would need to accomplish rather quickly, is it not?
that task is a bit reliant on, I would suppose, Kai's new ability, for it'll make it much easier. So I'm going to say we must at least wait some time to give him a chance to recuperate and recharge it.
Would you care to elaborate?
Kai just looks at you all and goes, I have no idea what he's talking about.
I would ask again, could you elaborate on what you mean, please?
Kai, do the thing.
I can do many things. Which one?
The thing with the ink and you zoom.
And he goes, ah, understood. He's right. I would need to wait till tomorrow for that.
I still don't know what that is. Could one of you potentially explain using Common as a language?
He looked like Kai now. Tomorrow he doesn't look like Kai. He looks like someone else.
Oh, interesting. Yes, I believe that is something that I could achieve as well through various methods. How necessary is this for the task at hand? This seems like it would only affect him, not all of us, correct?
We only need a few in. My idea is we attempt to get people on the inside in order to handle this task, and that might be one of the easier ways to do it without bringing more flack upon ourselves than needed.
Mr. Fox, I'm just gonna recommend that it's probably not a good idea if I go back there, especially if something bad could happen, because they really didn't like you.
Perhaps then you can be the distraction.
Oh, I have the perfect outfit.
No, not what I was saying. You said you had to report something to them, did you not?
Well, yeah.
What if that information were to conveniently come right as we were enacting our plan?
But again, but if something bad happens, they're gonna think I did it.
In turn, they will come after us.
And then I'll end up in jail, Mr. Fox.
No, for you will have an alibi, for you will meet them where you tell them the lab is located.
I must say, I'm rather confused. Why do we need to risk a distraction? You said that Mr. Kai here should be able to infiltrate the Rakdos to acquire the artifact Minkus told us about, correct?
Simple.
Do you not trust him?
One Boros comes out, and he walks right back in.
Boros? I thought we were dealing with the Rakdos.
Yes, the Rakdos want a prisoner out. Take a guess who holds them.
So in order to get the artifact, we need to free this Rakdos prisoner.
Yes.
My, the auxiliary tasks continue to pile up, do they not? Alright, so be it. You appear to be the expert in these nefarious deeds that need to be done, so what do you suggest?
We cannot handle it tonight, as I believe we should take some time to rest. So we have a few hours to wrap up any other loose ends that we may deem necessary. But my idea is simple. We take some time, Clara handles her task, and at the opportune moment, she reveals that information to the Boros, luring out one of the higher-ranking Boros. Once they leave, we go and cast a disguise on ourselves and return as those very same high-ranking Boros, thus being able to get access to areas we wouldn't normally have. Then those members, of course, will then be tasked with figuring out where these prisoners are located, where they're held, and breaking them out. Unless, of course, this information can be obtained earlier than that through, well, YouTube.
And how do
Well,
you plan to...
one thing to note is just like Gideon knows this because she worked in that office. The 2nd Precinct prisons are just the basement of the 2nd Precinct barracks. Whether or not Balim is there, you do not know. The prisoner you do know is there is the one that was from Krenko's gang.
We only need to break up the one, right?
We need to break out Baleen.
Yeah, we don't care about the guy that was in Franco's gang, right?
Then in that case,
That is a personal thing that Clara cares about, not necessarily the whole group.
snap back, rewind it. We have tasks. We need to figure out that lab as at least some distraction, I suppose, and we can use that to ensure a Boros member is at a location when we need them to be, and we have a disguise to go in at. Then we also need the 2 Boros members to figure out the information about this prisoner using however they can with their connection.
When you say information about the prisoner, you just mean the cell where the prisoner is located?
Cell, location, if they're to be transferred or if they're to be executed, their sentence, everything. Their mother's maiden name.
Let's see what
Mr.
security number.
Mr. Fox,
Yes.
if it would assist in your decision-making process as well, I must put forward the idea that I, too, can alter my appearance if that would aid in Kai's work at all.
I too can. I three can also alter my appearance. But
Well,
not
wait.
my face anymore.
I assume that the techniques you speak of with Kai and I believe Gideon was your name. I assume you will be using magic to conceal your identities.
Kai nods his head.
Well,
Not me.
I
And I put on a fake mustache.
I should inform you that I have no such need of that magic to do so.
Yes, I suppose I do require an enchantment. And my enchantment only changes my guild insignia. It does not change my facial.
You're blue.
disguise at all. It does not change my blue at all.
Ah, we'll see.
So I could not just walk back into the Boros barracks, as people would get
Well,
very confused.
For what it helps, from my time in the Simic, I've picked up a trick here or there, and I have found ways to alter my own cellular structure to reconfigure it to any appearance that I see fit. So no illusions necessary.
Are you a doppelganger?
No, I am not. Though I must say the genetic makeup of those creatures is rather intriguing. In fact, if you actually, never mind. No, it's not relevant to the unless I can show you my notes later. But no, it's a similar technique though that they use. It's actually where the Simic derived some of the formulas that they use for cellular reconstruction. Have you met a doppelganger before?
Oh, I've only been told about them in my scary stories at school.
Well, excellent. Then you should be well familiar with what I'm capable of.
It's fascinating.
Though it does still bring up the issue that if we were to, how you would say, impersonate a high-ranking officer of the Boros, how do we ensure that the officer being impersonated does not return to their post? I assume that would cause problems.
That is where the information Clara will provide comes in. We give them the lab of the investigation they are after, then we know that they will be going there at some point. Then Clara can meet them, points them directly, and ensure that they are occupied with her ways.
Well, Mr. Fox, you see, they said to write it all down in this journal. They never really said they were gonna come with. I can try to convince them.
It's simple. You just writes down, I can show you.
Troubling. I have an inquiry for the Minotaur. Tavro, was it?
Yes.
You've worked with the Boros in the past, correct?
Yes, I am Boros.
So, in your opinion, do you think that the Boros, being as structured and ordered as they are, do you believe that they would find it strange that an officer deployed to another location would still be present guarding a prisoner at the time?
Say that again?
Well, the Boros, they are a rigid and structured organization. They follow the letter of the law quite vigorously. They keep good records of everything. Would the Boros find it strange if an officer that was sent to some task to seek out some lab was not doing their duty, but instead still at this prison guarding a prisoner? Is that something the Boros would raise suspicion among them?
Oh, I see. I see. I suppose it depends if they were to tell anybody. If it was just them coming to see if it was true, then maybe not. But if they were bringing a platoon with them,
In terms of interguild exploration and stuff like that, the high-ranking officials of the Boros typically leave their reportees to do that kind of. I don't think you'd be able to get the high-ranking officials lured out of their offices.
Interesting. I must ponder this.
I do not think this is a plan that will go into action tonight, though. So, if we have any other loose ends to tie up, perhaps now is the time to do it.
I think I need to go ask my family about the other labs. So that's probably where I'm going to go for the night. But where should we plan to meet tomorrow?
I just sort of look around.
You're right.
Should we reconvene here then?
It seems to be our location now.
And around this time, now that
I thought I heard his laugh. He's here.
yeah, he's here.
So,
around this time, the sun has now set in the night market, and you see like as the sun goes down, it gets a little bit colder, and you see like a goblin come out from the side and step up to the like massive well winch and start to prepare it.
That's a goblin?
That's a goblin.
Oh god. I have a follow-up inquiry for for our members associated with the Boros.
Yes.
What do the Boros do with deceased prisoners?
That is a great question.
Would we know that, Zach?
Yeah, so it depends. Honestly, they tend to go to the Orzhov. As much as the Orzhov are very capitalistic, they are also the arbiters of the afterlife and religion. So, based on your guild affiliations, you tend to be either sent to the Orzhov or sent to the Golgari once you die. With exceptions for if something's in your will, or if you had, like, a close tie to a specific thing, then you might put, like, a inheritor in your will who can enact what happens with your body. But in general, religious rites are performed by the Orzhov for those who can afford it. For those who can't afford it, the bodies tend to be sent as fertilizer and corpse fodder to the Golgari.
Yeah, that Escher.
Interesting. And So this transit period, I assume, would be quite lengthy.
It could be.
What if our Boros guards were to assume that their prisoner had died? Perhaps it would be easier to abscond with our query if they were not in the prison.
One thing to note with that for the 2 Boros members is you are well aware of protocol. Any prisoners who die with an active ongoing investigation, an Orzhov cleric is always brought in and cast Speak with Dead. That is standard protocol for anything with an ongoing investigation.
The cleric is brought in to do what?
Cast Speak with Dead and basically interrogate the spirit of the dead person.
Yeah, sure.
That could be problematic.
Do we tell Escher that?
That's up to you guys. This is something that you two would be aware of as he poses that as a potential solution.
Oh, how convenient.
I mean, is this information you're sharing? Because
I have both spells available to me as well. I'm just gonna say, well, if it is an Orzhov cleric you need, if you can ensure, I can try to see if I can be the one available on call.
well, that could be beneficial, seeing as we would need an Orzhov cleric we could trust, as our quarry would not actually be deceased.
But we would need to kill the prisoner in order for you to.
Oh, no. Completely unnecessary. With what a touch, I can halt all cellular processes within the body except for those that are most vital. For all outward appearances, our prisoner would appear deceased, but within about an hour, the effect would wear off, and our target would return to life. Simple.
I do the same thing, but I just take their soul out of the body for an hour.
That sounds gruesome.
It's temporary, just as yours is. I do not think I would want to undergo yours before, though I have undergone mine.
The same fucking spell, but we cast it in such different ways.
So, how do they determine what Orzhov cleric is used?
Well, Boros members, how do you determine?
That was a question.
From the Boros perspective, it depends on which barracks they die in. They tend to go to the closest church, and then they just hire whoever is on call there. And from the Orzhov side of things, Fox, you've performed similar. Well, actually, you haven't known Speak with Dead for very long. You know of others who perform similar rites, where, like, if there happens to be a death, you've seen other people. It tends to be pretty fast. Like, anybody who is on call, there's always a few clerics on call at every church, for different levels of things. You've mostly been low-level contract writing, more like notary things like that, but now you are at the level where you could perform more priestly duties, such as reading rites or death interrogations. So you could be eligible to go on call. You would just have to be one of the priests on call at the right church when they go to hire someone, and then you'd have the potential to be hired for that.
That
I can
doesn't sound
figure
easy.
out, if we know the location of the prisoner, I can figure out the closest church and be on call when the moment is needed.
Okay, well, I guess our first course of action is figuring out what prison our Baleem is actually in. Is there more than one prison?
There is a ton of prisons of various levels of security. Like,
That's concerning.
well, because it's a matter of there's basically like holding cells, which are just like, okay, you have like we booked you, we don't have like it's the drunk box. They have those all over. They have dedicated investigation prisons, and all of those tend to be either in like basements below Boros barracks and safe houses. And then some, if it's more like white collar legal crimes as opposed to violent crimes. The Azorius also have their own prisons for those. And then there are dedicated high security prisons for those who have been officially booked and charged with violent crime. It tends to be that last type that Krenko breaks out of every few months.
What?
Oh, I said those, like, high security violent crime prisons tend to be the type that Krenko breaks out of every few months.
Or it is quite simple. We go beat the shit out of Krenko and make him go take this guy out of prison for us.
I didn't know that was an option.
Hey, in a different life, you guys killed him once.
What?
What?
The original Ravnica campaign in college.
Oh.
I've done it twice.
Oh, this is not the same one. Oh.
Well, I'd be willing to get to bet. So where are those high security prisons? Are they just everywhere?
There are 3 in the 10th district. So there is...
They're in the 10th district.
You're also in the 10th
We're in the
district. There are the 6 precincts within the 10th district. So the high security prisons in the 10th district are Uzdek Prison, which is the Undercity high security prison. There is the High Tower Prisons, which is a Supermax prison below the Blister Coils High Tower, which is also connected to Prism University. And then there is the Beast Haven Prison, which is... sorry, not Beast Haven, the Sawtooth Prison, which is up near... a bit north of Nivix, the... Is it Guildhall? There are other prisons like Beast Haven Prison, Orzova Prison, Common Prison, but those are not like high security supermaxes.
Do we know what this Baleem did?
Yeah, he killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, Nyoser said he was a bit of a hitman for him.
So
But then, of course, that wasn't true.
he's probably in one of the high security prisons.
Yeah, he was a hitman arrested in the last 2 weeks, is what you were told by Nyoser. And he said that the
Are we
Boros
sure
could
we should be helping this guy?
He said that
No.
the Boros would probably be able to find out where he's being held more than he could, and that's kind of why he was hiring you guys for it.
Hmm.
Well, I suppose Tavro and I can figure out where exactly he's located and then construct a proper plan in order to break him out.
Yes, I suppose knowing the location would be the most beneficial for whatever horrendous scheme we end up concocting. When you know for certain, contact the rest of us and we will plan accordingly. Will that be all then?
And around this time is when you see the goblin start kind of like winching up the thing, and you see the first of the drow merchants making their way out of the passage through the night market well.
Oh, that's not water.
It is water. There is a big crane with a cage in it, and the goblin winched it up, and a drow just stepped out of that cage and walks over here and starts setting up a little like merchant's booth. And you see as the goblin starts cranking again.
Yeah,
Is
Escher is
that Cranko?
Well, as I said, if we don't even know where our target is being held, I suppose we only have so much more we can discuss, correct?
Indeed, I believe it may be more of a time for either action on gathering information or action on any of our other loose ends. I knew some people had other sensitive things. I know Clara had some great emergency, though I forget exactly what for.
Her parents.
I don't think the Cranko issue is getting solved in the next 2 days.
It could.
Jerry.
I mean, what she wants to do is jump in that crane and go find Jerry.
And as you're all talking about this, that first drow that's setting up his thing, he just goes, "Hey, did you say you're looking for Crinko?"
Was he eavesdropping on us?
Yes.
Suppose I
Yeah.
am.
He goes, "I may know a guy who can help you out. If you want to grease my palms a little bit. Maybe peruse my wares."
Saunter over, what type of wares does he have?
You see as he has a bunch of... He's currently still unloading, but you see as it's mostly vials filled up with various liquids, and not all of them are liquids. Some of them seem to be, you actually recognize a lot of them as various arcane components for spellcasting. And you see, eyes of newts, little, shavings of various things, what looks like to be some completed vials of substances. He goes, "What are you looking for? I'm an arcanist's delight."
Typically, my spells do cost some material components, more of the mineral variety, gems and the such, though I do have a new compatriot as I sort of look at and tilt my head towards Escher, and just perhaps we could make a generous purchase.
If I understood your mannerisms correctly, you were motioning to me. How can I help you?
Do you require any components? Perhaps something to help with your... however it is you're casting.
Could you elaborate?
I point to the wares.
I have...
Oh, no.
components
I have
for
plenty of
the-
reagents.
Very well. You said that you're looking for... And he turns back to you. "Cleric, you said you're looking for more mineral reagents." And he, takes out a few vials of, sparkling powders, and he goes, "I can weigh out your gem powders by the gram if you need it." Diamond, ruby, sapphire dust. I have whatever you might need.
Could I substitute that for into Revivify?
300 gold worth of diamond dust is the same as 300 gold diamond.
Okay, everyone, it's time for the Revivify tax. The Revivify tax. It means you guys cost me 800 gold 2 seconds ago, so I can no longer afford the Revivifies.
That was your fault.
Did you say you have
Not
mineral
my
dust
fault
on
that you
hand?
opened a letter from the
Tax?
It's the mineral tax, and I saved you that money too.
Wait, why do we owe you money?
Because I would have bought this, and I did buy it, but I had to sell my Revivify to cover the 800 gold that everyone cost me for the healing.
8 gold.
When he got
Yeah,
poisoned by the assassin, you guys took him to the cleric, and to cast protection from poison on them, it cost him quite a bit of gold, which he traded his diamonds for.
What are it?
Because I'm only
Fox.
going to be casting Revivify on you, so why am I going to be the one taking the 300 gold hit when it's for the good of the party?
Fox,
Yes.
you have an interest in pulverized diamond?
Indeed, I can make use of it. It's is needed for some of my higher level spells.
Well, you see, there's actually a strain of bacteria that I've been toying with the idea of. I think I can get them to grow. However, they need a little extra something, and the organized lattice framework within Diamond might be just what they need in order to properly structure themselves and to get their membrane stability just right. That I think this Diamond Dust could work. If you're interested in getting any, I may be interested in using some. How much do you need?
I'm gonna look over to the guy and be like, how much is a gram of it? Basically, how much amount is going to be 300?
It's 10 gold for a gram of diamond dust. You won't find a better price in all of Ravnica, I assure you.
I will need 30 grams, Escher.
So, if my math is correct, that's 300 gold, correct?
Yes.
All right, let me just count this out. And Escher would kind of take a minute, and then he would, but a lot quicker than you would expect, would take out a handful of gold and go, all right, 100 gold pieces. There's my contribution.
And the drow just looks up at you and goes, so, are you looking for 10 grams, or are you pooling together for the rest of it?
Give me a second as I go and start bullying the other people to pay their debts to the party.
Do they need some as well? Yes, it would aid. These reagents are quite expensive.
Oh yeah, I could pitch in for that. As Aldrich pats down his pockets and go like, "Oh yeah, they took everything I had."
As Fox just sort of
And
Clara.
as Fox... Oh, go ahead.
Clara would like to grab a singular gold piece and walk over to Mr. Fox and hand it to him, smiling.
Fox just looks into his hand and then mutters, "Oh, the poor," under his breath.
Oh, wait, do you need more than Mr. Fox?
It is 300 gold.
Oh,
We still need about 200 gold pieces. If
well,
you're familiar, I can show you how much that is with a visual representation.
well, I can maybe spare 50.
That is more than enough, Clara. I thank you for your contribution.
And she hands over the 49 other pieces to him.
Tavro?
I had to carry you, so this is all you get. And I hand you 30 gold.
Okay, so you're 180 now.
I contribute the last 120, then.
And as you slide over the 300 gold, you see as the drow just gets a wide smile, and he pulls out a stopper, and you do see some diamond dust in there, and he starts weighing it out on a scale, and you see as he's just shifting it back and forth, and it only takes a few moments before he fills up a new vial with everything on the scale and goes, "For you, my good sir." And you see as he hands it to you, there's a little slip of paper that he also kind of slides into your hand. The name of my supplier comes with the purchase. I know that him and Krenko go way back. He may be able to help you find your friend.
Just gonna quickly look at the supplier's name.
It says Mr. Taz.
Where's the best place to find him?
Oh, well, that's the thing about Mr. Taz. He's an elusive man. He tends to find me more than I find him.
Where does he find you?
In the Undercity, mostly. He catches me while I'm on my way here. We have a set stop once every other week, where he drops off wares for, well, my patronage. He's never there for more than a few minutes, though. I don't even see him come often. I just notice that the gold goes missing from my sack as quickly as the minerals appear in it. Although I've had a conversation with him on a few occasions. Interesting man. Never seen his face, though. Hood always drawn, thick goggles, and a mask. He definitely seems to value his privacy.
This totally is not enough information to cast sending, is it?
No, not at all. And he goes, well, if you want to know more, I mean, I do have some other wares for browsing. And he turns to you, Escher, and goes, You look like a man of science. I don't just have spellcasting.
That would be an accurate assessment.
Yes, well, I've worked with some of the biomancers and researchers before. I have certain reagents that can only be procured from the Undercity. Hard to get up here. Anything in particular you're looking for? Heart of a Dusk Mantle?
Oh. I appreciate your concern, but I assure you, my guild keeps me well supplied. There are certain things that I couldn't get the funding for, namely the pulverized carbon lattice, but other than that, I believe I have everything I should need. Always good to see that that there are other people out there interested in the progress of science, though.
Yes, of course. Well, if that'll be all.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, little one.
Do you know about the labs down there?
As I told your taller friend here, I've worked with some of the labs in the Undercity. I supply them with items that may be hard to procure.
Well, I really could use your help in procuring something from the lab for me.
From the lab, not for the lab?
Well, yeah, you see, there's a myconid that's down there that he's really special to me, and I think you should try to get him up here.
Well, if you're looking for myconid spores, I certainly have some of those for you.
Oh, well, you see, this one's special, because we shared a really close bond.
I believe I'm actually in agreement with the goblin. I would have much interest in acquiring this special myconid if it could be brought to the surface somehow.
So Aldrich kind of nudges both of them, and try to talk and make sure the guys are here. But aren't we supposed to wait for Ulyss to come back? He's supposed to. Jerry's supposed to send Ulyss up to give us word. Would it be too hasty to send someone else in for him now, or?
I suppose you're right, Aldrich. I just really wish someone would bring him up here to safety.
He's the man that saved me, so I trust in his ability.
Well, Mr. Drowman, never mind. I think maybe we'll come back.
Very well. If you have more information about this Myconid, I may be able to at least pass along a message. Although if he's in the employ of someone else, that goes a bit outside of my procurement duties.
No, don't worry about it. It's everything is alright. She's just a little one, just spelling on. Just forget about everything she just told you about.
Well, as you've seen, part of my business is information. It's very hard for me to forget something once I've heard it.
I mean, forget it. Remember it, forget it. It doesn't quite matter to me. I'm just letting you know that it's very inconsequential. She's, as you can see, she may be a goblin, but she's grown like a human, so she's practically around the 8-year-old's mental frame.
Alright, so the adult child goblin may or may not have given me valuable information. Noted.
I mean,
See, we were just really great friends, and that's why I need him in my life, because, again, we shared this really special bond that I've never found with anyone else.
You know, perhaps it is time for us to take our leave.
Oh, his scores.
Yeah. And he just looks at you and goes, "Oh, are you more looking for something myconid shaped?"
No.
Sorry, what is your name? What is your name? And when will
I
you
know,
be back here? I think we are over for now.
And he goes, "Well, I wish you luck in contacting my supplier if that's something you still need to do. I'm here every other night for the market if you ever wish to browse my wares again."
so as we're about to walk off, I just talked the guy to the side like, hey, if you could find maybe a mushroom-shaped teddy bear, next time we come around, maybe we pick that up for her.
Wait,
And then walk off with everyone else.
As Fox is gonna grab Clara by like the scruff of her neck and start pulling her away from the merchant.
Like a cat going to the vet.
Hey, let go of me! Hey, what are you doing? Don't do that!
Now, Clara, we have other things to do.
An intriguing method for controlling goblins. I've never considered that. Interesting.
I am not something you can control, mister.
Well, you see, the goblin mother holds all the goblin children in their mouth like this, behind the neck.
I don't know if I believe the accuracy of that statement, but I'm going to write it down anyway, just to be safe.
yeah. As Fox tries to justify to himself the traumatic image he had as a child when he saw a goblin devouring another goblin.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
Now then, Mr. Taz. Now then.
Fox, I'm sorry that I'm in love and you've never felt love in your entire life.
You shut it now. I love money more than you love that mushroom. Now, anyway, fellow poor people, you poor people, if we may, we do have our tasks for gathering information for our next excursion.
Clara would like to go up to Fox and stick her little green finger in his face and say, "Now you listen, mister. How did you get all that money a little while ago? You exploited my parents, so I think you owe me something, mister." And then she puts her hands on her hips and tries to look intimidating.
I paid almost over twice as much as you did for this material, which is going to help all of you. I dare say that's one of the more generous things I've done.
Don't call me poor.
As I stop and, but by definition, you are.
Humph.
If I may interject in your trivial squabble, I would like to point out that the discussion over money you're currently having is not relevant to the life-threatening danger we are all presenting ourselves with in roughly the next 24 to 48 hours.
Perhaps then break and then reconvene shortly after.
I suppose that would be a good idea.
That or
I
we
do have-
should acquire a safe house for us to hunker down and rest.
And when he says that, Clara just gets really worried about where he might be going with this statement. What's the safest house, you know?
Oh, the Orzhov?
The Phillips.
Oh, goddamn.
Hey, now that we have an official map for Clara's house, we can.
No. The Phillips need not be drawn into this too much.
Well, good, because I don't know how they would take a really big cow coming home.
They've met Tavro.
No, they
Yeah?
Have they?
No.
Haven't you known him for like a day?
Yes, we have not gone back to my parents since we've known Tavro. I did by myself, but you guys didn't.
And Kai did, but I didn't go with him.
Oh yeah, Kai
Yeah.
went to get me or whatever.
And also, that's racist, Clara.
Well, it's just because they're kind of hippie weirdos, and I don't think they would serve you the right food.
Are you saying
Oh,
that they eat beef?
No, I'm saying
Clara, don't upset him like that. Tavro, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, the last time you were all there as a group, you got maggot casserole, so...
Yummy.
Lovely.
I thought they were human.
hey, I feel like Aldrich would really devour some maggot casserole.
So her parents are human, but they were trying to make Clara's favorite meal for her to comfort her, which is maggot casserole.
Oh.
Back on to the point.
Wait, no, this is more important. Are the Phillips human?
The
Yes.
Phillips are human.
This I did not know.
Clara's adopted.
I'm adopted.
Interesting.
Well,
I
that I
suppose
knew.
that clarifies the biological questions that I had.
Are we going to break for a rest then?
I suppose that would be wise. I have some experiments I'd like to run, and I do need to report back with some of my field notes to the Simic before they start getting suspicious.
Well,
So,
I'm-
who's going with
I'm gonna go home because I need to figure out what lab maybe made that creature that was really bad because I need to tell the Boros.
Escher, are you perchance feeling hungry?
Perhaps. Why do you ask?
Aldrich. Your names are too similar.
See, I figured you were talking about him, but I want to see what sure.
That's fine. I thought maybe you wanted to, like, grab a bite, hang out a little bit, but it's cool.
Oh, Escher, we could go
No, well-
have a bite. Would you like to go have a beer somewhere?
Escher just got invited to his first ever friend hangout because he's been such a nerd his entire life.
Hey, I have decent charisma. I could be invited places.
Could be. That doesn't mean you have been.
You make a valid point.
Aldrich, are you feeling hungry? Was it?
I can get some sandwiches. I mean, I haven't had a good burger in a while.
Oh,
What
what?
I'm saying is, if you are feeling that, I do know a place that perhaps there might be more willing participants instead of the first person you see on the street.
I mean, I don't quite follow. Oh, oh. I think I pick up your drift. Oh, out of character. In between the time that we left, Mali, big guy, the mayor guy,
Minkus.
Minkus. I don't know why in my head I was thinking Malekith. I'm like, that's not right.
No, that's the second to last boss in Elden Ring.
Wow. But yes, Minkus. Did he tell Aldrich to go anywhere or do anything?
Sorry, what was
Hello?
the question?
Oh, did Minkus tell Aldrich to go anywhere or do anything regarding the the drinker thing, the mind
Uh,
drinker thing?
he said to not fight it and to eat when you feel the urge to let your powers grow and develop.
Okay, I could have swore he said something else about his higher ups. So I assume he's gonna go and
No, he also
go
said
and
that
talk to them.
he very much wants to know where Zadok is, but you didn't know who that was or where they were.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I thought he would give better advice, but
He said that there hasn't been a newling in over 1,000 years, so he wasn't really sure the advice to give you, but he did talk a little
yeah.
bit about like his experience with it.
Gotcha.
And it was mostly like, don't fight it, and as you feed when you're young, you'll
Wait,
become.
Minkus is what he is?
That was kind of established last session that they are of a similar make.
Ugh.
Yeah, I missed that.
Now, Aldrich, if your hunger is perhaps striking, we could go to this place where you'd have a willing opponent, you could say.
Where would this be?
Are you trying to get him to fucking eat a spine devil?
Also, are you sure this is something that would be safe for Aldrich?
No.
Forged in the fires, he shall be.
I would have to recommend against whatever activities you are inquiring about.
We could try to find him a human opponent if that is your issue.
Kai, why don't you
I
say?
think we can handle this on our own.
I'm just gonna mumble under my breath. There goes that money opportunity.
Wait, so where after
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear what Katie said, but I think I'm gonna ask the same thing. So, what is everybody's plan?
I want to make sure I know where Aldrich is going to be and that he's going to be safe, and then afterwards I'm going home.
Should someone go pick up Miria's head?
I will do that.
Pablo and Gideon are gonna go figure out much information on the demon.
Aldrich and Kai, are you or with me then?
remember that it is of the utmost importance that you keep Aldrich out of the public eye.
Indeed, he will be in very private eye.
All it would take is one whiff, and you would bring the entire force of the Simic down upon our little collective here. I believe that is something you and I both wish to avoid.
Yes, you are correct.
All right. So you are all heading off to respective places for a good night's rest. And you're all going to... So, Fox, you're going to pick up someone's head. The rest of you are going home to your various places, and then you are meeting up where tomorrow?
Here,
Here.
I think.
Okay.
Aldrich would be going wherever Kai was instead of Fox because that's the only person who's actually been like had a place to go with her so far.
Kai is currently somewhat distrusting of Fox and trying to not let him out of his sight. So it would be going
Okay,
with
we're
both
all
of them
together.
in that case.
Okay, that works.
All right. So, as you all scatter, those of you who head to the safe house to pick up the head, you are able to do so without much fuss. You go in, Minkus is gone, and like on the dining room table is just Miria's petrified head, and you see the bottom of it, like where it's cut off at the neck, has been cauterized and burnt down to seal it up, and it's just staying there, and there's a note that just says goodbye, and then like that's it. So you're able to take the head and leave and go. Everybody is able to go to their respective guild halls or homes and gain the benefit of a long rest, and that is a good time to end the session, I think.
Spell slots! Yes! Power! Not that I needed that much.